Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Tuesday 20th of December. So yesterday this is just the hourly chart here. So yesterday with this market we were looking at a wave 4 to move up and then a wave 5 to move down. So we're not quite there yet with this low in place. We haven't made a low here, but I wouldn't think that it's got far to go because wave 1 here is quite short, so it'd be about the same length as wave 5. So yeah, because the extensions in wave 3 here, the longer wave 1 and wave 5 can be roughly the same. Take that with a pinch of salt, but just sort of, eyeballing it up. So the 7-1 here is going to be the nice sort of support area for this. Obviously we want to see it drop down a little bit, and the interesting thing is that if you're looking to go long in this, then if the market does drop down below it, normally comes down to group 2. So group 2 will be 7080 and then 72 and 65. But if it comes below and then gives you the first high above the level, we're talking a classic trading levels pattern here now, a little bit more to it than that, well then you can go long, and you could go long up to 72 at that point. So you could look to go long on this market once that low comes into place, and then you would end up taking profit at the 7.2 there. Now there will be some swings in this market, so between A and B here it can drop back 60-70%, 62%. Along the way going up here there will be between 100 and 200. If you expand it all up, there will be 10, 20 and 30 for group 1, so you could build in more positions here. Chill at the 150. That's going to give you the biggest headache at that point. That's where the wave B is going to come in, and once that's over then you can push up further at that point. Now I'm looking at this as down for wave 1, back for wave 2, down for wave 1, and ABC back for wave 2. Now what happens if I'm wrong? Well, if I'm wrong, looking at the markets in general, this will be a wave 4 here as an ABC pattern here. And if I was going to be wrong, then I would be looking at wherever this low comes in here, it's going to be roughly around the 72 here as a 61.8% retracement level. So if we get 5 waves up here, for example, we get 5 waves up here, then we'll just simply look to go long at that point. We'll go long up to 7.5 at that stage from here to here. Okay, so that's plan B, and we'll see how we go. If we're going to short again, we'll be looking to short the B wave out here as an ABC pattern here. So this trade that you may or may not have down here, it's going to finish around the 70, 80 area. Could drop at the 72. And yeah, spend a bit more, probably the whole first session down here I'd imagine, but not sure what news events there are and the sentiment is and so on. But if it trades below here and then gets support back up here with a little classic trading levels pattern, then you can go long and go to the 72, get out. I will see tomorrow if we've got 5 waves up there. If we do have 5 waves up there, then we'll look to be bullish and we'll go long from that point. If we only have 3 waves to that point, well then we'll look to be bearish and we'll go down again at that point. Now you have to understand that we've got 3 waves here, so that can be corrective, but once that moves up here and then this low is taken out, then we've got a bigger picture that destroys any bullish count that we have here, because the resources may have pulling back for a wave 4. I'm not quite sure about it, so yeah, that's where the thing comes in. But once that 5th wave, this 5 of 1 here, once that's in place, anything below that after a correction here, anything below that opens up a can of worms at that point. It'll be down for 1, back for 2, down for 3, 4 and 5 and so on. So a much deeper move to the downside. Okay, so that would be that. This is also all in line with the US markets as well, US stocks, US indices, so it's pretty clear clean cut that we will be looking at a corrective rally here at this point. But yeah, just talking about the long and the short of it all. Over to the banks. So as I mentioned with the ASX, if I've made a mistake here, then we're pulling back for a wave 4 here, and then we'll pull up for we'll go up for a wave 5 at that point. But if, you know, this will go over to here and so on. But if it, you know, comes down here and drops and keeps continuing down, then we'll look at this as a wave 2 here. We'll also look at it as a wave C of B up here. So it's just sort of step by step really for this. When we have a look at let's have a look at the banking sector for a moment. Let me just get this charting program into view. So we want the date, and it's nice to see what we're looking at a little bit as well. We want to have a look at the XXJ here, and this will be the situation here that we're looking. This is a daily chart. We're looking for an A and a B and a C wave up here. That's the bearish count as a larger B wave, and we can come down lower from that. You know, everybody's talking about a recession next year, so you know that kind of accommodates that. But this is a little bit tricky to count to the upside. Some of it's clear, some of it's not clear. So this could also be a wave 4 here. If it was going to be a wave 4, then it would pull back 38.2%, so into there to there, and that's the 38.2% pretty much where it is at the moment. So all we would need to see here really is that to finish off on the ASX200 and then push up there. And if it does push up there, well, that's only going to go up a little way, and then we're going to have a deeper move to come into play at that point. Okay, so it's not don't think it's going to, you know, put you into retirement, so to speak. So it'll just be that we'll need to lift this over to here at that point and continue with this pullback at that point during the holiday season. But we know we're hitting supply up here, so we know it's not, you know, all of this here. It's not going to go very far at this stage, so you're not going to miss anything basically with the banks really over the next month, one way or another. So yeah, I just want to have a look at this on the, I think we're looking at this on the 15-minute chart, weren't we? So from the top here, we counted down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looked like we had an ABC yesterday, and then we'll look at this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could call that wave C low in there. Let's just dump that for a moment. We don't need that. We haven't really made a new low here. So that's a little bit of an issue. And it does look like we got 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could easily have a, well, we could also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finishing off here. That would be interesting. Otherwise, we'll look for an A and a B and a C coming back into here and then down again. That's kind of, it's a bit short spoken there, but it might be possible. Anyway, we'll sort it out. We're not really interested in going long in this at the moment, in the banks. Seeing different ways we can look at it. I mean, because it's difficult to count that. We can count that up as 5 waves, but the problem is that I suppose we never really got this sorted, did we? We had 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had the correction. But here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here as wave 1, 2, and 3rd wave, 4th wave, and 5th wave. So, but then I can't put that over there as well. But I could look at this here as an ABC pattern to that point. That's, I mean, that's a fair point. You know, I mean, it's possible to do that. You know. What about the this beta thing here that hasn't made a new low here? It's not very helpful. Rightio. So I just want to have a look at the yields one here as well, just why it's sitting there. Should be, yeah. I mean, it didn't really pull back to where I wanted it to pull back. But as a wave 4 here, we've got the A wave, the B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know it's overlapping. We'll just see if that is the low there. We don't really have any, nice movement up here so far, but it's possible. This correction was a little bit bigger than this one, so 1 degree smaller, so that's good. So that would leave us wave 5 up there, and that's a bit haunting really, because that gives us, just gives us 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, we'll still see higher ground here for this. I mean, normally when you get support on 3, you'll end up at 5. That's where I think we're heading. Of course, we'll loiter around 4 for a while, but I don't think that's the end of it. And I'll see the US at this number as well. They'll all be at that number. Then they'll rest there. Then they'll have a bigger correction at that point. And that's the important point there. That will be higher. All these are a bit higher, so that will just will only come back to 4 at that point. So anyway, higher interest rates. So where are we up to? The banks. Okay, so yeah, we need to gather a little bit more information. I mean, when you look at the US banks, they're in the same situation as well. They've got 3 waves down, most of them. The Bank of America is very bearish. That's dropped way down here. You can watch the end of the US video. It's got those banks in it. Iron ore. So this is China iron ore here, and yeah, we're looking for a top there. I was reading in the Financial Review paper on the weekend. So what China are doing, the CCP have basically put together, there's about 500 steel mills in China, and obviously there's some big ones and small ones, but basically what they've done to try to sort of corner the market a little bit is that they've created a buying group. So this group called CMRG, they become the buyers and they distribute to all the other steel mills. So they've got massive buying power. So that's put the wind up the iron ore producers around the place. I don't know why they should really worry about it. All the iron ore people should just get together and become a group as well. I mean, why can one do it and not the other? So I don't know why they're pooing their pants about that. We've got the goodies, and they need them, so how can they lose power over that, really? I mean, it just doesn't make sense, but either bad journalism or something or else. But basically, I can't remember, I don't know if this group still needs to buy through the spot market, so that's going to be sort of interesting to see how they purchase things, Yeah, I mean, obviously they'll buy lots of contracts, not lots, but in lots. I just want to have a look at while we're chatting here, because I don't know how it's going to affect these markets that we look at. That's my thing, But the fact that this group has been put together tells me that, the demand for iron ore is coming back. I can see the volume here as well. Do you know what I mean? Look at that volume here building up on these lows here. So really, I just see this sort of, making new highs above here. But I don't know if they're going to buy through the market. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how that affects BHP or any of the others, Anyway, that article was in the Financial Review on the weekend, and it's probably worth a read. I'll read it again. I've got to kind of figure out if they're going to be buying through the spot market and if that's going to move the prices around a bit, or not. Are they going to be outside of the market? You know, that's what sort of concerns me a little bit. About how do we sort of read that from that point? You know, but obviously, you know, if China's buying it from, you know, Rio, FMG, and BHP, and Vale, and so on and so on, you know, those big kahunas got about 40–50% of the market anyway. You know, then it comes down to quality and cost of shipping and so on. It's cheaper to ship from this side of the world. So yeah, so it does put a bit of a bullish edge on everything. So this is obviously ASX BHP here, but I was, you know, when I look, if I so I'm not sure about this top here, and I'm thinking this needs to be wave 4 over here. Let me just check on US BHP. So sometimes they've got better counts. Yeah, see, from here I was looking at 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pulling back for wave 4. So this I've probably measured it out to the 38.2%. We can see that still got a little bit of time to come down. So I think this is where we're at. I think we've got another high to come in, and then we'll have the ABC correction. So the question when we still get to the top here is, do we have wave 1 or do we have C of B? If it's C of B, then we come down here, we have a recession, or we have wave 2 here, and then we go into a bull market at that point. That's the, you know, that's the gist of it all, really. Obviously, you know, I mean, fundamentals are, you know, if they're in play, but if they're not in play, you know, it's not like China's committed to buying yet. So, you know, there's still a lot to, you know, there's still a long way to get to where we need to get to. So yeah, anyway, I think this extra wave. It's pretty clear to me on US BHP that this is a wave 4 coming down here, and that's why I thought the ASX might be like that, and the banks could be like this, because, you know, the resources and the banks have been doing pretty much the same thing, haven't they? You know, so this could be wave 4 here, and we still need to move to the upside here. We don't know if we got C or B or wave 1 and 2. I don't think we need to worry too much. I mean, obviously, you know, if you're a long-term holder, then, you know, it's not a problem. You know, I mean, people have got them in their portfolios and all the rest of it, and you know, that's going to be fine. But in terms of trading it, then we have to look for the trend. You know, so yeah, so that's it really. You know, the other thing too, really coming up to this point here, if we do get a wave 5 up here, and then we have the ABC here, then, you know, double tops are really, they're never the end of the trend. It doesn't mean that they can't pull back here, but it's telling you that it's not the end of the trend, you know, to the upside. So, I mean, this little move down here, we can count this as 5 waves, so we need to be a little bit careful. I can see we've got 1, 2, and a little strong third wave down the middle, and the fourth and the fifth. So we probably get some sort of little ABC in here anyway, you know, something like this. But it's always just wanted to see how far I was going to pull back, you know. But yeah, the BHP US one is telling me that it's that, you know, in that space. And it's the same here as well. I could look at this as, could do the same thing here again as well, in terms of putting wave 1 here and 2 here, which kind of makes sense to me really, and then putting this wave 1 here and wave 2 over here for this, and having this as wave 3 to the upside here, and then having this as wave 4 over here somewhere. It could pull back further. That looks like 5 waves here, so I think we do have something back here. And then wave 5 up here to make wave 1 up here as well in that case. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. But it does look like 5 waves down to this point, so we'll see how that goes. And that wave 4 here would be taking this low and looking at this here, bringing us back to that 38.2%. So that wave 4, 1 lesser degree, and the 38.2% is something that this market can move back to at this stage. So just to make that wave 4, you know. quite high up here now, isn't it? Remember we looked at the monthly chart? Let's just have a quick look at the monthly chart here and see where this is. We had this as a bullish thing. Yeah, we had it like this. Had it as 1, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. I mean, I'll bring that across there and open that up a bit further, but I just had to be careful that we get 5 waves up here as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave, and then down for wave 2, you know. I mean, if China are going to be buying on the spot market, they're just going to, you know, short futures contracts, aren't they? And push it to where they want to, I guess, you know. They did that with nickel, didn't they, through the other company, through the LME, and made a balls up of that. Yeah, so anyway, it's I mean, the thing is, you know, holding these stocks are just fantastic. I mean, they've still got a long way to run. It's not the end of their life. Do you know what I mean? So if you've got them in your portfolio, I mean, these FMG and BHP, they got like, you know, 10, 12, 14% yields on them, you know. I mean, you're not going to get that out of the bank, are you? And, you know, and you can see that they're just really waking up, these giants, you know. Anyway, enough waffling, but always good to shoot the breeze. And, oh, so I didn't look at Rio, but same. So over to the lithium stocks. So, you know, these could turn up. I mean, I've got these as wave 1 here, but we can have them as ABC patterns here as well as a C wave here, but this is definitely not finished off here for this. So this is 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not finished at this point. So we'll see. Let me just have a look at Linetown was one of them. I mean, we're looking at this as a top. It's not a very good top, to be honest about that. But so this, you know, I mean, I didn't want to lift up hopes that we can still look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 coming back into this space. But I don't know if that's the case. You know what I mean? So we just have to be a little bit careful about that. But we'll keep an eye on it. This has got a little bit further to go down as well. This will be something like all of the 3rd wave here, so a 4th and a 5th. So there's more to be had there. There will be support today in these markets. I just want to have a look at PDN, why I noticed it here, because I didn't look at it in the commodities video yesterday, so sorry about that. So with PDN here, we're looking at a possible bullish move, but we're looking at going up for wave 1 here, an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. In that C wave, we're looking for 5 waves, so we're looking for down for 1, ABC for 2, down for 3, back for 4 and down for 5. So we've just been monitoring this, you know what I mean, to see if it pushes up from that point. We know that there's we know it's very toppy and it could pull down lower, but the thing is that this move here is corrective in nature, bullish corrective, and we haven't taken out that top there, so it's still a bullish move, all of this. I just don't know if we got one more little leg down or we come down a bit deeper and we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 here and then go up at that point. You know, that's the thing with this, so I'm not quite sure about that at the moment. And obviously that's uranium as such. And yeah, I just wanted to have a look at these lithium guys here. It's shoring up a little bit here for that. That's okay. This one here is kind of at its end here for this, so we'll see that bounce at this point. It's a tricky thing, you know, because I can see 5 waves here, but the thing is that this market's really quite perky, so we're seeing that strong move here, and you see the way this comes down, it's like a C wave here, you know. I wonder if this is an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. I'll have to have a closer look at this. It looks like 5 waves, but yeah, it doesn't want to come down too far. What else is worth looking at here? we're going to have a bit of a look at GRR at some point. This is just another iron ore stock. So with this one here, it does look like we've got sort of 1, 2, 3 here. It's like a third wave here, and ABC for a fourth and down for a fifth here. So it does look like we've got 5 waves here. So we need to be a little bit careful about that. There is 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the pullback here, and then we've got another 5 here. So it could be up for 1 and back for 2. Well, it's actually pulled back into this one here. So it's up for 1 here, back for 2 here, and probably 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 up here and 5 up here. So as long as this low stays in place, then it's bullish. We'll just see how it sits back here. We might be able to look for a long trade. All the volume's in the right place. This pulling back here is diminishing. The volume's diminishing. Bit like in here, you can see how the volume diminished in here. I mean, this is the perfect trade, really. This is a push up in 5 waves, and then a pullback on lower volume. So you've got that that contraction, that consolidation on lower volume, and then you've got increasing volume pushing these guys up here, the increasing volume starting here. You know, it's always increasing volume coming on these bars, and then Bob's your uncle, whoever Bob is. So yeah, perfect setup for a long trade at that point. And you know, we would have gone to 98 at that point, but didn't quite get to 98 either. We'll see how this goes. I don't, now that it's overlapping this here, it can't be wave 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So it's either got to be an A, B, and C, and we come down further, or we've got wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So we don't want the 80 really. I mean, that low there, if that's diminished, then that's finished. But anyway, we'll keep a bit of an eye on it. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, we've had that big move down. It's retesting the supply at that point, and obviously 1's the strongest number in the market, so it's kind of all about that. But we'll just keep a bit of an eye on it. Okay, I'll leave that at that, and that at that, and we're going to look at gold now, but I just thought I'd have a look at silver because yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, we were looking at this as being 1, and then an A and a B and a C for 2, and down for 3, 4, 5. So we had that 5 waves there. So then we're looking for an A wave and a B wave and a C wave. So we've got getting this B wave in here now. So let's see if we get the C wave in here, and then we'll get this other 5 down here. So that will be sort of interesting because gold's a little bit trickier to see at the top here. We can put it, I don't know if I've updated this here for ages, and I don't even know what have we got here at the top here. Is that the top? Yeah, it is, yeah. So we don't really have 5 waves here. We could look at this as down for 1 here, some sort of A, B, and C for 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for third wave, maybe a fourth and some sort of truncated fifth in here. I'm not quite sure. Some sort of rally, but yeah, it's a little bit unclear, but it's clearer on the other market. But there's our 18 here. So, you know, if I was going to go along here, I'd ask myself, is the closest largest number support? And it's not. So that's the trap for young players, you know, not knowing where they are within the trend. You know, the market has moved up here and it's kind of tired, hasn't it? You know, and it needs to rebalance, so it needs to pull down further in all of this. But the count is not, the wave structure is not very clear, so it doesn't make it easy, you know. That's why it's always handy to look at other markets, but we can tend to get our favorites and tend to get fixed on certain things and so on. So with Newcrest mining here, as you know, we've been looking at it as an A and a B and a C wave up here, but I don't think that's the case because it's a pretty clear 5-wave structure down here when I look at it, you know. So this would be, if I just readjust this here for a moment, and let's just put it here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this would be the 1 and the 2 here, and then we can look at this as the 3 here for this, I'm not sure which low that should be, but any, mini, miny, mo, we'll get to that later. And this would be wave 5 here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be the wave 4 here. So it's a pretty good structure to the upside. I just don't have 5 waves up here yet, but I think that's how we can play it at this point. But we're not just there yet. But so I need to, you know, just heed caution at this point. But yeah, I mean, if it gives me a little bit more time here, if I can identify this as being wave 4 here, right, which I can't yet, because it could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, and come down further. And we would expect probably wave 4 to come down further, but being at the 20 there, the 38.2% is here, so it's not a big deal to go further down. I mean, it's not a big deal in that case. But the 20 is a nice strong number, and we can see that this market is sort of really respecting it, sort of, you know, there. So so we can have this as wave 3 here, and then 4 here, and then wave 1 here, and then pulling back for wave 2 over here. This is probably the likely scenario. But yeah, we just got to kind of look at both sides at this stage, but that's it really. So another push up here somewhere. This move here would be much the same as this move here, really, in terms of how many days it's taken, how far it will go, all of those sorts of things, because the extension's in wave 3 here. I'll put this as 1 and 2 in here and make that a little bit more prominent at this particular point in time, because it looks like we're going to be getting it, but we're not there yet. As soon as I can identify this as a 4th wave, then we can remove these. So I'm just putting them into, I'm putting the impulse count in front at this point, but we're not there yet. So even if it makes another high, it still needs to pull back. But sometimes they don't pull back and they keep building on themselves, so we need to be a bit mindful of that as well. So anyway, as soon as I can identify this as a corrective pattern, then we've got ourselves a bullish move at this point. It's the same with GDX as well. So so that's NCM, and this is the US dollar here. So yesterday we were in here somewhere thinking, can we make a new high above here? I can see that we've got wave 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, or only 3 moves up here, but a bit dodgy. So it might be the C wave to here, not that it matters. Would that be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I'll just need to investigate this a little bit further. An ABC for the A wave and ABC for the B wave. Doesn't really make much difference. And then we'd have 1 and 2 here probably. So 3, 4, and 5 up here. We're looking to get up there somewhere. So that's that. So if that's going to push up, we're going to see the Australian dollar push down, which we were looking at that anyway as 1 and 2 here, and then 3 down to here. Maybe that's the 3rd there, and then the ABC for the 4th here. So that should push on down here further. Don't know how far it's going to come down. But as I've mentioned before, it was really this ABC pattern over here that we wanted. I just want to have a look at the US dollar yen here. Okay, so it's okay for the A, the B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, a little bit small. I'd like to put it over here, but that's not going to help. I could put it over there and still get away with this, I think. No, I couldn't. Anyway, not too worried about that. Look, we can have an A and a B and a C wave in here. I could also look at wave 1 over here and 2, and then 1 and 2 as well. So I just wanted to see how this low performed. We've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave. So basically we've got 5 waves to this point here. So this here would have to look at as an 8. So we've got, we'll just look at it as a corrective pattern for the time being. It may not be. And we do have 5 waves up there, so I could put wave C there, or I could put wave C up there. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 3, 5. Correction. Looks like we've got 5 waves here as well. Looks like it wants to come down at this point. Okay, we'll just keep an eye on that. We've got 5 here, and it looks like we've got 5 here as well. So that's not very helpful. This length of wave A here is roughly this one, so that can be a top in play there. Maybe I've counted that wrong. If that pushes up further up here somewhere, tests the top here, then we know that we'll be looking at, if it can move up to this point, then we'll look at this as 3, 4, 5. But that low needs to stay in. That low definitely needs to stay in, because that's back at 50–60% level there, unless we're going into, we've got some other type of correction here that I'm not seeing. Going to look at this as an ABC for the A wave, B wave, but still got 5 here. Not a very good 5 at the beginning, but good enough. Okay, anyway, I'm just using it as a backdrop to just double check things. So yeah, we should see this push down further either way at this point. We don't have 5 waves down here just yet, but I wanted to wait for this over here. This is moving in line with the S&P 500 and the US banks. So yeah, lagging a little bit. We'll see how it goes, but we want to be over here, so nothing to do at this point with this. So I'll leave all that at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.